Good morning, thank you for joining me and welcome to another Friday chat. I am looking forward to this one. I feel like I've got a lot to get off my chest this week, a lot going on. So you might want to make yourself a coffee or a tea and settle down for a bit of a chat. So I've got notes in my phone. It's been a busy week already, so I'm filming this Wednesday. We are going away tomorrow. I will be vlogging, so I will not tell you where I'm going, but I'm really looking forward to it. I'm quite exciting. Looking forward to it. I've got a couple of nice things booked and quite excited about those, so I think that video will be coming up, not this weekend coming, the following weekend is the plan. So just let me scroll through to find my phone notes. So right, here we are in November already. Yesterday was the 1st of November. I'm filming this on Wednesday, and I went to the theatre last night with my friend Julie, and our respective husbands went out for a curry together. That's a side note. We went to see something called The Fairy Tale of New York, and it was such a lovely show. It was very Christmassy, and I feel like the world starts thinking about Christmas on the 1st of November. I'm not so keen on doing that. I like to kind of avoid Christmas as much as I can until we get into December. Otherwise, I'm sick of it by the end of November. I enjoy Christmas, but I don't need it to go on for 2 months, you know. However, this show was so lovely. We went to see it in the Princess Theatre in Torquay, and I believe it's touring all around the country, so it's so worth seeing. It's a mixture of, it's all music, and it's a mixture of Irish music, all the old Irish classics, some lovely Irish dancing, this fantastic band with this amazing young woman playing the violin, and 2 older gentlemen, quintessentially Irish gentlemen, I want to say, on various string instruments and guitars and what have you, and singing, and a younger man and a couple of ladies who sang as well, and it was just a most glorious show. It was Christmassy. They did some Christmas classics and they did Irish classics and dancing. It was just a real nice feel-good show, so if you get the opportunity to go and see it, it is so worth it. It made me feel Christmassy even though I'm not a Christmas in November person. It was only on for, I think, 1 or 2 nights here, so couldn't go and see it later in the year, but I'm so glad we went to see it. We both said, although we weren't at all Christmassy and didn't feel Christmassy, we just both really got loads out of the show, and it was just a real nice feel-good thing. So I highly recommend that. It's also been Halloween this week. I think unless you have kids or want to randomly dress up and go to the pub, Halloween isn't really a thing. Halloween wasn't a thing when I was a kid, so I'm all a bit mystified by it now. Don't like all the plastic tat in the shops that is no doubt thrown away on the 1st of November. Not on board with that at all. But it's nice for the kids, isn't it, going trick-or-treating. We happened to be out on Saturday night, and that was a couple of days before Halloween, I think, and there was a lot of people in the pub, adults, dressed up. Now, I don't quite understand this. I feel like this has stemmed from America, because I know in America people dress up not in Halloween related things for Halloween, and I don't quite get it. I get dressing up as a witch or a vampire or a ghost or any of that stuff, or a pumpkin even, you know, but there was somebody dressed up as Superwoman, Wonder Woman, I think, and another person dressed up as a hot dog, and I couldn't quite get the connection to Halloween. Or do you just dress up as anything now? Is that how it works? I don't know. Anyway, it was all beyond me, but quite fun and entertaining, and an excuse for people to get out and dress up and have some fun. So that is all good, isn't it? Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, we've got Bonfire night coming up this weekend. I'm away for Bonfire night. I will talk more about that when I'm away, because I will be vlogging. We usually get quite a good view of the fireworks in town because we're high up on the hill. We look down and see a lot of fireworks from here. Again, I think firework night is something quite magical for the kids, isn't it? I enjoy a good firework display, although the fireworks seem to divide people, especially in Facebook groups at the moment, don't they? People not liking fireworks because they're pets, and other people thinking, oh, we should have fireworks, and, you know, one of those things that people just don't agree on, isn't it? The next thing I wanted to talk about was my video, my 10-point positivity video, which went out on Sunday last week, and I had such interesting feedback in the comments from that. I really enjoyed reading through your comments, and I thought they were so interesting and insightful, and there were so many good points raised that I thought it was worth just chatting through some of them. Forgive me if I'm looking down, because I have screenshot some of them that I wanted to talk about on my phone. And what really was interesting to me was so many of you reported feeling much the same as I said I was feeling. Just that sort of very not quite right, everything was just a bit meh sort of feeling. So that was quite interesting. I think just knowing that there's other people out there feeling the same way as you are is kind of helpful, isn't it? It just took me back really to when I was making the videos at the start of the first lockdown, the daily videos, and how it really felt like a little sense of community. We were cut off from seeing other people, but that made my YouTube channel feel like this sense of community. I got a lot of that sense of community out of it, and it felt the same with this. Couple of people said to me, which I thought was really interesting, that they've been wanting to ask me how I was always so positive. And one lady said, you know, in spite of your dad's dementia, and you always seem to be positive and always, you know, keeping busy and very motivated and positive. And I just wanted to say really generally that bear in mind what you see of me is only a tiny little snapshot. What I'm trying to say, I guess, is you only see a tiny little snapshot of me. It's very easy to turn the camera on. It's like going to work, isn't it? You go to work, you do your job. I turn the camera on, I make a cup of coffee, I chat to you, I'm all smiley, happy. I could turn the, you know, you don't know what happens when the camera goes off. So rest assured, I am not this positive, bubbly person all the time. But I don't want to be a miserable bugger on camera, so it's not being disingenuous to be positive and bubbly and try and share positivity on here. It's just that I personally, as a viewer, would not want to watch someone going, oh God, my life's so shit, but you know, things are awful, and this is a... So I do try and keep a happy medium. It's not all sweetness and light. Let's come back to that and explore that a little bit more in a minute, because I wanted to talk a little bit about sort of how much I share on YouTube and social media generally after this. But let's go through some of these comments. Sorry, I'm just going back to where I screenshot the ones I wanted to talk about. I won't say the names in case people don't want their names read out on YouTube, but one point that somebody raised in terms of, I mentioned that I find having a list and crossing things off very motivated. And somebody mentioned that she finds that when she crosses one thing off, it motivates her in turn to do a bit more and cross more things off. It's that sort of repeated success, isn't it? Success breeds success, if you like. And I thought that was really worth mentioning, because it does sort of encourage you to do more. You start small, and I think that's the same with anything, doing any of the things I suggest. If you go outside and you enjoy it and have a nice walk, it will make you want to do it more the next day. The next one I wanted to, this was the lady who said, I'm assuming this is a lady, it's not a lady's name, so forgive me if you're not a lady, but she said, I wonder how you managed to remain so positive given your dad's illness. Believe me, there are dark times, really dark and awful times. I could, if I thought about it, I could sit here and weep now. It's the most awful, dementia is just the most awful disease. Watching someone's personality be slowly eroded and their life becomes smaller, and it's yeah, you have to go on. I know that my dad, if he was in his right mind, would not want us all sitting around and going, oh, it's all terrible. He would want us to be living our lives the best we possibly can. So that for me is a motivator, as far as that is concerned. But you have to, you only have one life and you have to live it the best you can. And yeah, let's leave that one there, shall we? Somebody else mentioned the Serenity Prayer, and I always think of that as the Alcoholics Anonymous prayer. It's the one that I think it's, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. That one, forgive me. You can Google it if you want to look at it. And somebody else replied to that and said it helped them. So I thought it was worth just flagging that up and mentioning that. And several people mentioned how religion helped them. I am not a religious person. I don't ever think religion is a massively good thing to talk about on YouTube. In fact, I won't talk about it, but I will link up here a video I made several years ago about, I think it's entitled, Why I Was Christened at the Age of 44 and Have Never Been Back to Church Since. I'll link it up there. In which my views on religion, I had a lot smaller audience then and was more confident about talking. And also things weren't so fraught as they are in the world now, and opinion wasn't so divided, and there wasn't this whole thing of people not being able to have a rational discussion if they had differing opinions to you. So I don't think I'll put that video out now. In fact, I probably don't know where I'm linking it, because I'll probably get a load of hate. But never mind, it explains sort of how I feel about religion. In for a penny, in for a pound, I'll link it anyway because it's relevant. But I think if religion gives you comfort and helps you feel more positive, I think that's absolutely brilliant. I would never disrespect anybody, whatever anybody finds, you know, as long as it's not harming anybody else. If you find that uplifting and helpful and positive, then absolutely, I think that's a brilliant thing, and I'm happy for anything that anybody finds positive. One lady commented on, I'm just going to read it out actually. It's a lady in America, and she says, "Hi Caroline, I can't wait for the midterms, which is the American election, something to do with the American, forgive me for not knowing the details of the American electoral system. I can't wait for the midterms to be over here in the USA. So much nasty, rude, awful ads every few minutes. How did we get here? Whatever happened to civility? Why can't we disagree with someone's opinion without all this hatred? I fear for us and the world." And do you know, I think that is one of the reasons that I am struggling with the world at the moment. I think we're all scared to put our opinions out there because of this, the hate and the disagreement and the you're wrong, you're right, it seems we are unable to live harmoniously with other people of differing opinions from us, and that is quite a scary world, isn't it? I love a good political debate. I love a good debate about most things, but I feel like as a world we're losing the art of that, and that's not a great place to be in, is it? It's I was discussing on Instagram. I sometimes post slightly political stuff on Instagram, and I get quite a lot of feedback on there, and I message with quite a few people who message me, and sometimes I get into discussions, and I had quite an interesting political discussion with vaguely political with I assume a viewer the other day, just via Instagram messages, and it was a really nice, polite, reasoned discussion. Her opinion was on whatever, I can't remember what it was, but her opinion was there, mine was there. We weren't going to agree, but we had a really interesting exchange of views without falling out, and that felt so nice and refreshing. And I really hope as a world we're not going to lose that art of, because we learn from people with different opinions, don't we, as well? We don't have to agree with them, but you can, if you are open to people with different opinions from your own, you can learn from them, and I think that's great, and I hope we don't lose that as a world. Another thing that came up in the comments of that video was that I hadn't mentioned exercise, and I agree, I should have mentioned exercise. I think I did mention getting outside for a walk, didn't I? But not quite the same. But yeah, exercise is another one. It releases what they called endorphins, doesn't it? And all of that sort of thing. So exercise could definitely be added to that list for sure. And finally, on the comments on that video, it's another one I want to read out. It says, "I've heard it said that staying positive doesn't mean you have to be happy all the time. It means that even on hard days, you know that there are better ones coming, and that's how I try to live." Love that. I want to do the little heart thing to that. Someone else replied to that comment and said, "I agree. I once heard someone say that every day can't be a 10 out of 10. Most are just a 5, and that's fine. Maybe we expect too much sometimes." And I think that's really valid as well. If there weren't lows, there couldn't be highs. I think that is very true. And so we do need a little bit of a bumpy road in order to appreciate the very good times. But yeah, we just don't want all the days to be a 2 or a 3, do we? Anyway, really interesting discussions in the comments, and although it was my lowest viewed video of the last little while, for me it felt like a really good discussion and I really enjoyed it. I guess all videos aren't for all people, aren't they? Some people only want to watch me try on clothes, and again, that's absolutely fine. Right, let me go back to my other notes. Oh, this was just something I wanted to touch on. I've been talking for 18 minutes, so I will keep this fairly brief. But it was going back to a point I made earlier, and it's sort of the positivity thing. I struggle a little bit with how much to talk about what's going on in the world. I think that's why I'm really enjoying these Friday chats, because I literally just sit down and talk about what's on my mind that week. I am enjoying the freedom to do that, and in the course of my normal content, I don't particularly think that talking about I think people come to YouTube for escapism. As I've said, there is 24-hour rolling news everywhere you look, channels and channels and channels of it, radio, TV, podcasts, everywhere. So you don't come here to listen to me talk about the state of the world and how awful everything is. However, sometimes it feels a bit wrong to be not wrong, but a little bit uncomfortable, particularly at the moment with the cost of living crisis, I guess, to be putting out shopping content and clothes and all of that stuff. But that is the stuff that gets the views, and therein lies the rub. I enjoy putting out the shopping content and the new makeup and the buying clothes and all of that, and I've been sent this and showing it to you. I enjoy that, but I am also mindful of the fact that there is a cost of living crisis. However, you don't come here to watch me go, bloody hell, there's a cost of living crisis, price of petrol, terrible. Have you seen how much things are in the supermarket? So do you see what I mean? It is a bit of a dilemma. It's not that I don't want to acknowledge that this stuff is going on in the world, but I think people are coming here more for escapism and enjoyment, and not to watch me bang on. Then there's plenty of channels on YouTube for that sort of thing, if that's what people want to watch. And finding a balance at the moment, I'm finding quite hard to know whether what content to put out. I enjoy stuff like the Plan for Positivity. I loved that, but it's not getting as many. It's not all about the amount of views. Obviously, as I said, I got so much from the conversation in the comments from that, and we've just chatted about that, which is brilliant. But mindful that the stuff that people watch or want to watch the most is the shopping stuff and the clothes stuff and the buying and the hauls. It's difficult to know where the balance lies, and even more so at the moment. And I'm not planning to do loads of Christmas gift guide type content because of that. I will do some, but not loads. But without the buying stuff and the clothes and the makeup and the travel and all of those things, which perhaps go against the cost of living thing, without all of that, it's that not doing that would be going away from what I do, which is what people come here for, which is why you all subscribe, I guess. I don't know if any of that made any sense. That was very much a stream of consciousness. I hope it did. And if you have thoughts on that, I'd really welcome them. Whether you want to see something different, if you want to see something different, or whether you're happy with just any thoughts would be welcome. I'd be interested in opening up a discussion on that. Anyway, I'm going to finish off because it's now 22 minutes and I feel like I've talked a lot, and I need to drink this coffee before it goes cold. I've only drunk about half of it. So have a happy Friday, enjoy the weekend, and I've got a weekend vlog coming up for you on Sunday from last weekend when I went and did some gin tasting. That was quite exciting. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.